Gather your butcher's bones and give them a good wash with water and a lemon or apple cider vinegar. Right, so they've all been cleaned. They're in my roasting tin. It's a very large roasting tin. And when you're getting it, sort of bear that in mind as well. It's far easier just to get exactly the amount that you can feasibly fit into a good size roasting tin. And then you're not sort of roasting little bits and pieces. But this second process of roasting is important because it adds a real depth of colour. It also helps as well the breaking down of the tissues to get all that collagen out as much as possible. So as you can see, I've just taken these out of the oven. I put on my pork and it's beginning to crackle nicely, but I'll take the bones out and put this in again. I like to turn it upside down a few times and really get rid of the fat on the underside, so the boys will eat that later. But they're looking great, so they'll make a good colour. Then I have my water that's been heating up, and I've got just a base plate in the bottom of it so the bones don't stick because they're so heavy. And we'll get them on for the boil. Oh, I just wanted to show you something. Can you see the marrow is beautiful and soft? You could really just eat that now. Full of goodness for our bones on our joints. So, a handful of salt in, lid on, and turn it on for, I don't know, probably 2 to 3 hours. We'll see how we go. I want it on a sort of a simmering, so I want it to slowly cook and everything to slowly seep out of the bones and the with all any sort of, there's not really much ligaments on here, but getting all the goodness out of the bones and out of the marrow. Okay, so they've been boiling for quite a while now, and here is where I kind of do things a little bit differently. I will take all the bones out, but it's still not done yet. After about 6 hours, it's still not done. There's still lots of gelatinous stuff on it, the marrow, there's still marrow in, because what happens is, there's the marrow, because the collagen gets so thick like a soup, it stops like the water really getting in there and boiling it out. So ergo, that's why I do a double boil. Now, so I've taken all the big bones out. I'm not going to sieve any of that because that's all goodness. Every tendon and vein, it's all collagen, so I'm keeping that. Now what I did was, I got 1,000 milliliter jar, and I took the top sort of inch layer of lard off because that will harden, and that's great for cooking with, keeping in your freezer. And as you can see here, this was my second bottle. This is pure lard, where here you can see it starting to separate. Yeah. So I'll deal with that a little bit later, but I wanted to get all the lard out. I didn't actually want the fat in there because I wanted, and you can leave it in there, but I wanted to use that for cooking with later. Now, so where am I now then? I've separated that. I've taken some of this, double checking for small bones, obviously, but what I'm going to do, what I've been doing here, is blending all those little bits and pieces. Then I'm getting my liver, and I'm taking, I don't know, probably about couple of tablespoons and putting it in here, and then I'm going to be putting them straight in jars. I'm putting them in smaller jars because that's how I'll use it. That would be, and it's about 500 milliliter. That will be enough for my little family, but there's only me and 2 children, so that will be enough. Oh, little story to tell you. My parents in England, well, my dad used to love dripping on bread, dripping sandwich or dripping on toast, and they used to love it when there were little bits of beef inside. That was like the extra treat. Bit of a post-Second World War story for you there. I don't think I'm brave enough to have a lard sandwich, but well, let's see. Hey, so I'm going to put the liver into here, and then I'm going to be jarring up before I can. Right, so I've ladled now all of the liquid out. There's only, you see, I'll put that in there, but all of this is very small pieces. There's no bone, and I always made sure in the bigger bowl that I just did that. Okay, I just got the top surface, and the reason I say that is because when I was left, I mean, I've now sort of semi-washed this out, all the little bits of bone, the teeny little bits, were left on the bottom, and that's why I don't sieve mine straight away. So in here, what do we have now? We've now got no bones, but we've got collagen that still hasn't, and meat, but that still hasn't fully been turned to liquid, and that's what the second boil is about. So I'll get on with that now, and oh, let me show you. There's so far my jars with the collagen and the added liver. So some are different colours, obviously, but on the whole, it's looking great. And here we can see that the collagen is going to go quite see-through, like jelly, and the liver has gone, you know, like cooked meat, and it's bubbling away. So I'm really happy with that. I've got absolutely tons of these. I can't wait to show you how many cans I made from one tray load, oven tray load of bones. Well, it's a bit steamy here, but I thought I would show you what it looks like once, and I might put one before and after picture. But as you can see, everything has been taken out, and you get to have a kind of an interesting look at the inside and do a bit of kind of skeletal investigation. But yeah, so do you remember those huge, great big balls? Well, they've all turned to liquid, and that is what it hides. So yeah, you know, some people think, oh, where did that great big huge ball go? Well, it was just turned to liquid, because we're mostly water and collagen. So we know that for my children, you know, I'm putting these in stews, soups, sauces, anywhere I can, and it's great for their mind, body and soul, because it's so good for the heart, the brain, everything, joints, ligaments. So it's well worth the effort, even though it was a lot of hard work, but I'm glad I did it, and I've got enough now for a year.